Being part of Circus Center is being part of a very ancient tradition.
Every single day, there's creative individuals walking through the door, colorful people, every day is different, and you can never take anything too seriously.
The one thing about circus that you can get from no other form of entertainment, I feel, is that sense of connection, that sense of community.
There's something about this kind of circus, the intimate kind, that reaches people deeply. I mean, maybe it reminds them of some snippet of a childhood memory when they felt free. You know, as time goes on, adults don't feel free.
I mean, it's fun to do tricks. It's just fun to do tricks and doing those things just like anybody, a skateboarder or a bike rider.
You know, there are no compromises, and you really have to give yourself to it because you can't do anything half in the circus.
It's painful and it's tiring and it's every day, but if you love it, it's worth it.
And at a circus, the audience has the rare privilege of seeing people do something that is genuinely risky and absolutely sublimely beautiful.
Good support, good support. And top of stomach, yes.
Louis comes from the Chinese tradition of acrobatics. He is a very kind and dignified and humorous man and very serious about his work.
Yeah, and then push it, right foot, put it here, yes.
Why you want to come training with me? If there's a love, or I want to be a good performer, or I want to through training make them more healthy, or I want more training, learn something. This is my way.
It's amazing working with Louis. It's hard to explain. He's this amazing, magical little guy. And to see him excited about something that you do is just can carry you for a week or a month.
Louis is a legend, so that's the thing, is that, and people become legends for a reason. It's through hard work, respect of people, and your ability to see a greater potential in human beings.
So the top arm still lots of weight on the hand bottom.
He's very, very in tune and present, and for the moment that he's training you, you're the only person in the room.
It's amazing to me how he can see the smallest details in someone's physique without a second glance. Just seeing them in an instant, he knows what is right about their body, what is less right about their body.
And he never puts you in a situation where you feel unsuccessful. So he wants you to feel like you're kind of in a family situation where there are really no rules. He wants you to come back. He wants you to enjoy yourself, because if you're happy, then you do everything else in your life happy, and that's a good thing.
He has this amazing ability to
criticize you and make you laugh at the same time?
Okay, I cannot in America talk people fat. That's can I say. Two, I cannot talk America or you ugly. Can I say? Can I say? Oh, you look so ugly.
These are the things you learned over the years.
Three, you cannot say America. Oh, you are older. No, I'm never older. Young.
But it always comes from a place of love. And if he tells you something like, oh, that doesn't look very good, or this, it doesn't hurt your feelings because you know he's just trying to help you get better.
He's definitely tough on some people, but I feel like he adapts his coaching style to the performer. So I think he's not as aggressive with me, I think.
Master Louis also taught me some things that had nothing to do with acrobatics. He taught me about patience and discipline, and I think that carried over into everything else I do.
Ankle strong, push, push, push. Yes, yes. Later you find a finger push and ankle run, so help.
He's really funny sometimes. I think there was one time when we were stretching and he said, in India, you don't eat cow. Cow is God. Here, you don't eat Lu Yi. Lu Yi is God. I think that's his best quote.
Something my dad really likes to do is when he's happy with his students or when they do something well, he pats them on the head, like do this on their head.
Yeah, I do that. But I still in the US do that too. Even though I looked at them do happy, I say I call it a happy hate.
Yeah, like whenever like we do something good, he'll pat us like but really firmly on the back. Like, yeah, a good pat on the back, but it's more like of a slap, as like signature Master Louis.
Sometimes very noisy. They already, sometimes I hand up, they're already holding the head like this.
Correct. Too close. Come to my side.
He's disciplined. Yeah.
He's very, very disciplined.
I mean, I have no doubt that he's gonna live like much longer than I mean, like I don't know, 100 years old.
It's like his students would say, like he is. It's not we don't call it seed. He's the root, and the root spread.
He brought a lot of Chinese acrobat here, not just from Nanjing Circus. From Nanjing Circus, I say I'm one of them, and we have families. So the families all come over here, and those families brought their families here. He taught so many different generations. I would say the oldest probably right now would be 40 years old, even 50 years old. Some of them very famous, become circus directors.
And then now I think from here, that's a seed go away. And do in other cities, yeah, they grew up other city, make the other cities circus also very well.
Yes. Okay. Come down. Jump out. So I inspire you.
Anywhere you go where there's circus in the United States, you're going to find somebody who has at some point in their life studied with Lu Yi. He's that influential in circus arts in the United States. He's the source right now.
Circus Center is at the perfect place to put together what Lu Yi's always seen and wanted, and really had the idea for this great school and this platform of training and this amazing educational facility that could share this art form.
And look up. Da-da-da.
Shoulder, bottom feet, stomach.
I did not know the placement of Lu Yi in the world of acrobatics. But when we were in China together, I found out who he is, and he is renowned as one of the founders of what is today modern acrobatics.
I don't know if that words are right for him. It's called circus nerd. He's totally workaholic. And he always catching up the new things come out from international. He always has great ideas and integrate performing arts like martial arts, sports, gymnastics, even salsa dancing. He's learning and picking everything up from everybody. And the other side, he doesn't know he's 74 years old.
I have good energy. I already tell them love, yeah. You love, you have lots of energy, you love, you're always happy, yeah. It's very important. I already tell you I do handstand 5 times a day, every day. Even I'm busy, I finish. This is like my homework.
Handstand is acrobatic, basic, very important trick. He only make people arm strong, make body coordination. The acrobatic trick, everybody need to do handstand.
In the Chinese tradition, everything goes back to the handstand. If you can do a decent handstand and hold it for a long time, there is some hope that you might be able to do acrobatics.
In acrobatics, have 4 basics. Only 1 basics can make a solo act. If you have handstand, you can do everything you want.
The focus and control in a static handstand teaches you a lot about your body and about control and support.
Rather than balancing yourself on 2 hands, which seems impossible, you're actually balancing yourself on 10 finger pads and your palm, and you're making minute adjustments that you can feel and nobody else can see.
For the longest time, you're on your hands, and all you're thinking about is like, oh my God, I gotta hold myself up. How the heck am I gonna do this? And Lu Yi's laughing at you in the background, or Shaw's laughing at you because you've got a banana handstand or whatever. But the first time that you make that connection all the way through your body, it's like that's when you know you've got it.
So handstand will help you to make it tricks, look the high level, also help the people, the mind and the faith and the inside. For the healthy, also good.
handstand is good for people, special for American people, because the American people are very rushing. So doing handstand need very much patience. American people sometimes not much patient.
So I think over the course of 15 or 16 years, I've probably done 10,999 handstands, and I'm still doing handstands at age 65.
What's great about him is that he's really embraced adults and our awkwardness and the small amount of time we have left to actually train and our busy work schedules, and said, you know what, if you love it, then I'll teach it to you. It doesn't really matter if you want to be a performer. It's really more about loving it for him.
If in China, if that age you do pole, the Chinese say, you stupid. You need to go home. You should retire. But in here, nothing. Nothing about the age make them stop. So why? But they have love. They have confidence. Yeah, they have confidence.
And though I was way too old to be a professional performer, I was 62 when I did my first performance, I loved it. I lost my own ego and my fear and uptightness about being in front of people, and I thought, well, this is good.
Don't test this arm, the left arm, too high. Just with the low. Yeah. Okay. My whole life, love the circus. Our first life, mostly in China. And the second life, I come to US. I very want to here have the best acrobat in the world. I hope in my life that all dream come through. But very hard. Always up, down, up, down, up, down. A little bit go this way. Don't lift, go left a little bit. Marco 球来了哦，可以跟我。哦。哎呦。
My mom and dad are not those
they're pretty
traditional.
open-minded.
Yeah,
They're
very
very
open-minded. Even like for my friends, they do find that he's very open-minded. I guess it partly has to do with he traveled a lot.
Well, I guess personality, and he is a very affectionate person. So we hug and a lot and kiss, right? Which is very unusual for Chinese families, and I guess Chinese family tend to be a little more reserved and they don't express their feelings, but we're a little different.
I love the circus. I love my family. I love the wife, and the family. It's very much supported me, giving me lots of energy, giving me back lots of support. So making me more focused, do something I love.
Just smile.
when Liu Yi was very young and the circus was performing in Nanjing, he would go and collect the cigarette butts from the audience members, and then he would pack those into larger cigarettes and then sell those. It comes from a poor family. This was another way to make money. As he was doing this, he would kind of just play around, and somebody eventually saw him and said, hey, you're not too bad at this.
His parents were happy to let their little boy go because they thought it would be a good career for him. He could make a little money. He could send back the money to the family, and they allowed him to go. And Liu Yi loved doing this. But then he found that it was very, very tough.
I hope that everyday training not get hurt. What do you mean get hurt? The teacher don't kill you, hate you. It's every day I worry, every hour, every time training, worry teacher use a stick.
Liu Yi said, now feel my head, feel my head. So I touched the top of his head and it was all lumpy. He said, those are the knots in my skull from where he beat me as a child.
Feel very, very nervous. That kind of nervous is just, if that kind of nervous is very dangerous. You might only think about teacher don't care about you, forgot a technique, fall down, it die, kill you.
恭喜啊，笑嘻嘻，行啊你。
What he says is he never got to an extremely high level. He got to a slightly above medium level as a performer. He did a couple different acts. What stood out was his ability to understand acrobatics, and he started creating movements that had never been done before, and he started to be the person others would ask questions, and he did that from a very young age, and he grew to be one of the heads of the Acrobatic Association for the state of China, and I believe he was the youngest person to ever hold that role.
He was a Communist Party, first of all, and then the National Acrobat Association, he's a vice president there. So he's pretty high ranking in China, in the acrobat society.
Then there was the Cultural Revolution in China. He ended up in jail because he was trying to protect other members of his company and was away from his family, I believe, for at least a year. He was just in prison.
In that time, China, lots of famous people. That kind of fame not just for art, doctor and engineer or science, ballet, opera, acrobatics, in gymnastics. It's you always, in the famous people, always get the trouble. I'm in the famous, the team.
And then suddenly, during the Cultural Revolution, his fate turned. He was on the outs. He was put in re-education camp.
And they just said, you cannot go home, stay there. Just this right there. And then I just have the, 6 months, my daughter, very sad. Very sad. I cannot see my daughter. And then I'm very sad in that time.
He also said that while he was in jail, he was so angry that it caused him to have permanently shaky hands. So he cannot write. It always brings him back to the memory of being in jail and being angry.
So many people protect me. They know me very nice. Especially in governor, very much protected. Talk to, the control, the kind of, the control my person. You cannot hate me. Lots of people real hate, not just love hate. Make you stand up every day. It's that guy that in that situation, in that time, protect me. It's saving life. Very important. Otherwise, somebody will kill me. I just. I cannot say. The two gotta see. I don't know what to say.
Do you cry?
No more cry. It is very sad. Lucky I already passed. I passed. And I'm lucky in person, compare other person, I'm still alive. Yeah.
Master Lu Yi had been through the Cultural Revolution, and he came to the United States shortly after Tiananmen Square because he was afraid that for the second time in his life he would be put in re-education camp.
He ended up bringing a troupe of Chinese acrobats to the Big Apple Circus in New York. You know, they were on a temporary visit. It was his responsibility to bring all of the performers back. And in particular, there were a couple of performers who had bad attitudes that China really wanted him to bring back. They performed, they went on tour. The last day of the tour, they weren't in New York, they were somewhere north of New York. And at the end of the show, all but a couple of the performers got into cars and just left. They just drove away. They defected at that moment. Lu Yi was just, devastated.
The lady, she defied. And I catch her. The Beijing said, "You stupid. Why you catch her? Let she go. If I let she go, my trouble also. So I do this wrong, do other thing wrong. I don't know. Whenever I say, they not trust me. I'm very, very sad, very angry."
Judy and Lu Yi met because the Pickle family was performing in New York at the same time that he was there with the Big Apple Circus. She and the Pickles moved to San Francisco, and she wanted to start a training school for the company and have Lu Yi come and be the director of that training.
She said, "Please stay here. We need you. We want something China circus. The reason." So 1990 March, I moved from New York, moved to here.
And the Chinese government blamed Lu Yi. Of course, he didn't have anything to do with it. I think he was upset because he was blamed, but it wasn't his fault. So I helped him with doing the immigration argument to get him A1 immigration status. That meant that we couldn't replace him with an American, and we couldn't. So he was granted the status, and we got him.
I don't know how many people around here still know the Pickles and know, the Pizzoni family. And I mean, those guys just did some amazing stuff. And it all started here.
There was nothing like it at that time. It had nothing to do with animals. It wasn't big circus. It wasn't commercial. It was very intimate. The people in it were friendly. They reached out to the audience. It felt like a community event.
And that brought Lu Yi. I mean, Lu Yi came here because of the Pickles. I mean, the Pickles and Cirque du Soleil at that time, probably back in the early 90s, were pretty much neck and neck. I mean, both were very strong, very powerful in the sense that they had a lot of shows. They had a lot of big following of circus performers.
When my dad came here, the local government wasn't very happy, so they kind of
kept my mom.
Yeah, there. So my mom couldn't come for 3 years, and that's another part that's kind of difficult
by
for
herself. Until my dad got his green card, that's when they granted her passport.
Well, actually, no, not right away, right? Still
it was
after
a
couple of years.
Yeah.
We can say, I come to here, they're not happy, but also they wanted me back. Yeah, they wanted me back. But because that politics that happened, I know not my wrong. So it's politics making me wrong. But I know I cannot go back. I cannot back.
I admire my dad for giving up what he had in China and the fame and everything. It was a hard decision for him to make, to give up what he had and starting all over again here in United States. But he's loving it because his passion for acrobats, I think that made it all worth it. And of course, giving us the opportunity to come to this country.
Here's a man who has been through a lot, but he's not bitter. He loves his art form. He has so much dignity. he loves to teach. He wants to see this art form grow.
Let's jump ankle shot, ankle shot, ankle shot, push back, push back, push back.
China has always had a very deep technical ability, and the United States has always had a very deep emotional theatrical ability. And the one is kind of missing from the other, and he has always seen himself as the person who brings those two together. So by being in the United States, he is able to bring his own experience of Chinese acrobatics training to the Americans, and he takes the clowns, the theatrical emotional part, to China and helps them learn how to be more human in their performance, if you will.
I want a more, artistic. They're already artistic, but still like the very serious.
The acrobatic students are incredible. They do incredible acrobatic work, but they don't understand what it is to relate to an audience, to be funny. It was such a pleasure to see how they opened up and became much more cognizant of the audience, and much more like if they got a laugh, it was a good thing. And it's just a huge change for them.
My favorite part about being a clown is taking the things in life that we think are really serious and making them ridiculous, and kind of reminding people to laugh. Because a lot of times life can get hard, life can bring us down, but clowning is all about being like, hey, remember, there's the good times too, and you can laugh at someone else who's being an idiot for a little while.
So a lot of times in the first few weeks of clowning, I have to say to the students, look, this is a safe environment. You're with friends, you're with fellow eccentrics. Get crazy, surprise me. You have to come in here every day and surprise me. And I'm always pushing the students to find that part of themselves, which they rarely have to access and which anyone rarely asks them to bring forward.
It's the goofy stereotype, the red nose and the big hair. There's so much more to it than that. And that's something that a lot of people don't understand.
For me, I make mistakes all the time. And the most interesting thing to me about clowning is that you use those mistakes and you take them to another place.
Even if you have a very eccentric idea, you have to find a way of connecting it to an audience. A lot of it is about who you are and showing who you are, and that vulnerability is what draws an audience to a clown.
I want to be the most connected to the audience that I could possibly be. I don't want to be in a pretend world that they watch. I want to include them in what's happening. They're part of it.
It kind of feeds into, for me, what is so important about circus and clowning, which is community.
But it's not nice. It's not nice. People say, oh my God, I'm afraid of clowns. You should be. You should be afraid of clowns. Do you want clowns to come and rearrange your kitchen? You'll never find anything again.
Teaching clowns is a little different with normal acrobatics people. I can say maybe half of the clowns, they're not physically fit. If I hurt them, they're gonna miss a lot of training. So I have to be step by step. So patient with clowns.
I've been doing it for 30 years and knocking myself around. And you learn certain techniques that protect you. And trying to get the students to understand that there are those techniques and that's what will rescue you and keep you from getting so injured, that's what's important. And that's what I try to instill in the students.
It's definitely helpful to have trained as an acrobat because I think it's helpful for anybody because you just become more in tune with your body in general. And then as a clown, you know, your movement is essential and being big and being clear. Let's go over there. No, we're going down. We're going up. You know, it's important. So I don't think it's essential as a clown to also be an acrobat, but I think it's incredibly helpful.
One people say that China don't know funny, so making me a little bit not understand that China know funny, but just some reason or some politics or some system make that they not want to be funny. Now the China through the us training, they looks funny, looked funny. I want to change China, but for me, I want to make the people love. Now they make an act very good, not just like before, very serious, now more funny. Who can make the China people smile? The guy is a big guy. I don't think so. We small guy who make the China people smile. May I need to call 911? Lay down. I call 911. Yes, good. Who want to try? No one. No.
Everyone has their own experiences of what circus has been to them growing up, and some might say that clowning is, or some might look at trapeze, and some might have a song that they associate with circus arts. But putting it all together, they forget that in order to be able to do that, to make it look so easy and so comical and so polished, requires a great deal of practice.
A lot of people think that the circus is all about the glitter and the glamour, but that's only on stage. Backstage is a whole nother story. It can be very stressful because we worry a lot about we're injured or we'll never get better than we already are, no matter how hard we work, but that's just not true.
Well, hardest part is it's not just being an aerialist. Hardest part is being a circus performer. It's first of all, it's a physical job, and you have to keep always body in shape. You have to keep you have to be very disciplined, and you have to keep sort of regime. When you're a professional performer, you perform every day, all year long. You have to organize your life around your job, not opposite.
And sometimes you get injured too, and that's part of the game, really. You have to be as careful as you can. I've had minor shoulder injuries, and I've torn an oblique, and I've broken some pinkies. I've broken some toes.
If you don't get hurt, you're not doing it right.
Yeah, that's our biggest motto. If you're not,
it's our only motto.
It's our only motto. If you don't get hurt, you're not doing it right.
Which is technically, if you get hurt, you're not doing it right. So it's kind of.
That's kind of ironic, but.
Yes.
And of course, the performance, it's you have to kind of born with that urge to be performer.
There's always, at least for now, it's always a little scary before you go on stage. There's always that moment of you've got 5 seconds before you're on, and it's, you know, a little scary to know that all these people are going to be looking at you. But then when you're done, it's such a cool reward to have an entire audience clapping for something you did.
Really strong circus artists are able to show that they're not only doing this skill to impress, you know, or doing the skill to demonstrate. It's not demonstrative. It's for you. It's for the audience. I do this pullover for you, and I share that, and we have that connection.
Everything that you do affects other people, so you should mean to affect other people.
And the fact that the first language we ever learn is body language. And as a performer, that's the thing that needs to be most clear. Because you can say anything you want on stage, but if your body language is sloppy, people won't believe you.
Because lots of people can do the athletics. You can watch gymnasts in the Olympics do marvelous, stunning pieces of athleticism. But I wouldn't call it art. It doesn't tell a story. It doesn't particularly move me.
If you've ever been in shape, really in shape, there's nothing like it. I remember what it was like to be strong and healthy, to be able to use my body. And circus gave me that opportunity. And I'm really grateful to the circus. And always will be.
Maybe mine
I
half
don't know.
inch.
I think you
Half
are bigger
inch?
by one fingernail.
Still bigger?
One fingernail length.
Oh, okay, fine. I'm lifting weights.
For the triceps.
Yeah, go stay. Top, holding there. Point toes. Yes, holding there.
I mean, most Americans, if they think of circus, they think of the big Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey circus, or they think of Circus, Cirque du Soleil. But circus is so ancient. You can find acrobats on Egyptian tombs and Minoan pots.
It's influenced pretty much every culture, every form of theater, every tribe, every civilization has had clowns or clown-like characters. So it has a huge and long lineage which for me is fascinating because when you enter into it, you feel like you're part of this tradition.
I think that circus is different in the United States because in the United States, the history that circus has here is of like sort of traveling circuses with, you know, various degrees of charlatans and whatever attached to them, you know? The United States treats clown or anything as a means to sell something else.
I do festivals now, and I'm in some plazas in France, and I look around and I go, this same kind of thing was happening in the 1600s.
There's so many roots in European circus. American circus doesn't have that same respect, unfortunately, because there hasn't been time to build those roots.
In Europe, circus is considered an art form much more, and they really respect and love the arts, and so they put money aside for that for artists. They know that artists need to rehearse, and they know that you can't be a waiter and an artist at the same time.
I feel that maybe America thinks that we're just a freak show, and that's far from the truth.
With the slider, no problem. Pull, top on, top on, top on.
Even in my lifetime, watching funding for like mime, funding for the arts in general gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and what people can actually imagine gets smaller. And then the generation born after that and the generation born after that, and they don't really have any arts education. And what do they imagine? It doesn't teach people to embrace the diversity of the human imagination if they don't see it.
The circus is a young art. If we don't have enough young people come training, no future.
He's always like, oh, we need a good next generation. Talk to the parents, talk to the kids, let them come training. Even good kids, we can give them a scholarship.
There are so many circus arts that it's, you know, and so many different personalities of children, it's impossible to not find something that they respond to.
And then go forward.
The first California Youth Circus Festival was phenomenal. We got people from different organizations in the same room to work towards more youth participation in this beautiful art form, and Liu Yi had the vision to say that bringing kids into this is what needed to happen, and we did, and it was amazing to see what these young performers who are so disciplined and so dedicated and train every day.
Through the Youth Circus Festival, I saw they have the very good high skills. They have good quality, the performing style. They all say they have their own performing style.
The purpose of the festival itself is just to promote and encourage children to participate It's not competitive. Like we were talking about before, how Lu Yi wants training to be something that's fun and enjoyable. When kids do competitive things, they get worried or self-conscious about what they're doing, and he did not associate those feelings with the heart of circus performing.
Also, like growing up training circus, it's always so like exciting to meet somebody else that trains the same way you do, the same things that you're doing, or even just in the same community.
Oh, very successful. Much better I thought. I'm very happy to find also very good family. The people tell me is they say that I'm circus father, I'm circus mother. I'm very exciting. I like the words very, very, very good. I hope in California have more circus father, more circus mom. So we wanted through the Youth Circus Festival to encouraging more young people love the circus. More family love the circus. More people love or support the circus. So no youth circus, no future.
It's not going to be any longer just about the glitzy costumes. It's going to be, I think, more personal. And I think the big, splendid productions like Cirque does can coexist with these smaller, more idiosyncratic, more personal productions.
I'm not in Cirque du Soleil. I would love to, but the thing with Cirque du Soleil and what's happened now is it's become so large and the skill level has become so high that it's incredibly hard to work with them. It's such a blessing that there are these smaller independent circuses so that you can still do what you love, but it doesn't have to be with Cirque.
And when I started taking flying trapeze classes, I saw people all shapes and sizes, all ages, doing flying trapeze. One person was a physicist, another was a beautician, somebody else was a banker. They were fat, they were thin, they were flexible, they were inflexible, and we were all trying it.
You can be an acrobat, you can be an aerialist, you can be a juggler, you can be someone who works on the German wheel, you can be someone who just wants to goof around and have a fun time, you can be a clown, you can be a professional, you can do it recreationally.
Because we want everyone to come in and learn something about the circus. It's basically adult recess. You're never too old, you're never too young, really. You can start anytime.
And exposing more people to circus arts is what this place is about now, and that's cool. That's really, really cool.
Next strong, go. Yeah, strong, head go back. That's form. This is work. You see the line? Good line. Yeah, muscle work.
One of those amazing experiences that I'm truly blessed to have had, and truly blessed that Lu Yi came into my life. One of the reasons why I did as much as I did for the school and continue to support it is because I truly believe in the man and his heart, which can encompass and support as many people as are on this planet.
That people change my mind. They are love. Love is the best. Number one is love. You love, you can change your life. You love, you can change your energy. You love, you can make your dream or your goal come true. Energy up, up, up. Thank you. They need to pay extra money. For some commercial way interesting that way, you get the money, they need to pay you back. They cook it. No, don't.
you.